Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Tony the Gardener. Uh, the other day, on Sunday, I got a new citrus tree. So the same day I transplanted the lemon tree, I got another orange tree, and I want to show you how I transplant this orange tree into better soil. Especially because I don't have another 5-gallon bucket. Uh, the tractor supply I went to doesn't sell 5-gallon buckets for whatever reason. And I have sand because I don't have any more sandy soil that I made. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I make more sandy soil. Just transplant this orange. But first, I'm going to get rid of all of this old soil because I don't like the soil. If you saw my previous video, and the main reason is because it's mainly organic matter. And even though there's pretty good roots on it, I just don't like growing my trees in mostly organic matter. All right, I'll set you guys up and show you how I make this uh, transplant mix thing. Alright guys, just because you're wondering how I make my tree soil, I just buy a bag of whatever sand is the cheapest at the time. And I just use the whole bag just to make it easier on myself. This is a 50-pound bag or half a cubic foot, so 3.7 gallons. And I like to use as much as mineral soil as possible because that's how nature does it. It grows in mostly in mineral soil and not in pure compost or anything else like that. So um, I want 10% of compost and 10% of pumice. That's gonna be my aeration layer or my aeration stuff. Compost is so it has more organic matter. It'll be a slow feed for the tree while I fertilize with other stuff in the meantime. And this way, with 10% compost, is not too much compost for the soil or for the tree. And I want to use 40% biochar. Biochar holds a lot of nutrients, water, microorganisms. So that's why I want to use a bunch of biochar, as much as I can, really. And you can see the sand is still pretty wet. I don't know if I'm wet. It's been in my garage for like 2 to 3 months now, and it gets hot in the garage. Maybe because it's in the bag, it doesn't have anywhere to go. But that's the only thing I could think of. And you want aeration for your trees because they need a lot of air and a lot of water. Especially citrus need a lot of water, even though they don't like it too damp, they don't like it too dry. So it's a kind of a hard balance to keep, especially in the high desert where it gets extremely hot. Like today, it's going to get up to 105. That's around 2 o'clock, so that's why I'm trying to make the soil right now before it gets too hot. And biochar I'm going to use is more of a chunky biochar, so it's not going to be finely sifted like the sand is. This way, it can also provide more aeration to my soil or to my tree soil. And I make tree soil and seeding soil way different. So if you want to know how I make seeding soil later this year, please hit that subscribe button. And yeah, keep up with me. Right now, I'm going to get the biochar. Like I said, I want to put 40% biochar. And off the 3.75 gallons of sand, that's going to be 1.5 gallons. And that's 40%. I'll be right back once I get the biochar. Alright guys, so you can see in this wagon, this is only 1 gallon of biochar and it's already taken up, it basically buried all the sand, compost, and everything else. Here's the second half gallon, or this was 1 gallon, this would be a half a gallon, so 1.5 gallons of biochar. And you can see it's really chunky and there's a bunch of dust too. And this is raw biochar, just so you guys know. I didn't charge this at all. I didn't do anything to this. I didn't. I crushed it a little bit when I first took it out of the pit, but that was it. I didn't charge it with anything. So when I mix this together and I plant my tree in it, I'm gonna use a lot of. I'm gonna use fish motion to get the initial charge. But basically, I'm using biochar to. You can see how dusty that is. So it can carry a lot of water and microorganisms. So I don't have to worry about adding more and more organisms or compost. Even though I will be doing adding compost, especially as a top dress. But you guys will see what I'll do next after I plant the tree. So let me just get this all mixed up and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it with my uh, tree soil. You might see some rocks in here. I'm not too worried about rocks because like I said, I made the biochar in a pit method and a bunch of rocks fell in the pit while I was digging up the biochar. So um, rocks is fine. It'll add a different texture to the soil anyway. But yeah, now it's time to transplant my citrus tree into the container. And I don't know if I said it before, but usually I like to transplant into a 5 gallon bucket because it's a bigger size than what they're used to. But because the target supply I went to, they weren't selling 5 gallon buckets, so I just replanted in this 3.5 gallon bucket. And yeah, maybe later next year or something, we could transplant it again to a bigger size. All right, so over here I have the tree just sitting in some water, just so the roots don't dry out, and hopefully some more of the organic matter can fall off. And the sand was still pretty moist. I was able to bring down the dust from the biochar, so I'm pretty happy about that. And now just trying to get a gauge of where I want to plant this, because the root here is pretty high up. I think I might have to backfill this a little bit first, and then start adding the tree. As you can see, this tree, compared to my lemon tree, is holding on to way more wood chip than the previous tree. I think this one has way more roots too. If you saw that previous video, it wouldn't have nearly as much roots and didn't carry as many organic matter. Okay, so it might be at a good level right here. And now just put more soil in. This is why I like to put in a 5 gallon bucket, so I have way more space than I do right now. But this should be just fine. Just for right now, at least. Until I can go to Home Depot or somewhere that has actual 5 gallon buckets. And you can see with the sand, when it's moist, it doesn't uh, fall off as easily as if it were dry. So if you're planning to make a mix like this, try buying your sand when it's still moist. Don't leave it outside as long as I did when I made the previous batch. Or if you could buy multiple trees at one time, and then use that batch. And the reason I'm shaking it is so the sand can get between the roots. That's something I did on the previous video too. And I'm probably going to post these videos back to back because I want to show you guys how I want to do updates really quickly on these trees, especially because I got this the same day I transplanted the lemon tree. The only difference is I'm planting this on a Tuesday instead of that Sunday. And yeah, let me get my Dr. Earth fertilizer. That's what I like to use as a an initial fertilizer and inoculant. Uh, these are all the stuff that it has as an inoculant for this fertilizer. If you used Dr. Earth before, you know what's in it. Um, by the way, this is the chew chew chew. Just a light feeding, like I said. Well, I didn't say that before, but I want to do a light feeding, especially because I want to charge the biochar. And since it's mixed in with like 10% compost in here, it'll be a better slow feed for the biochar and the tree. With the rest of this sandy soil, I'm just gonna save it for when I buy another tree. I don't know when I buy another tree, but hopefully soon. But yeah, let me get the fish emulsion ready, water this, and then go water the rest of the garden. Alright, YouTube, so I mulched it and everything. Uh, I I still have fish emulsion. I don't know if you guys, hold on, fish fertilizer. I got this like a couple of years ago, so I'm just trying to use it at this point. So in this 2 gallon container or gallon water, I'm just gonna I put like 2 gulps and like maybe quarter half a gallon of water in here because I don't want to add too much water. Like I said, the sand is pretty much still wet, so just gonna slowly water this in. Because I don't want to overwater this. Alright guys, so here's the tree. It looks like after it's been planted in the same bucket, and I put it in this area where it gets mostly sun in the morning and parts of the evening. It's not too much sun, so it can be over here while it's just trying to regrow its roots and everything after the intense transplant. If you saw my previous video, then you would have seen this lemon tree. I also put it over here so it can regrow its roots. But this one has a 5 gallon bucket because I got this one from Home Depot, as you can see. And this one, you can't see where it says where I got it, but I got this at Tractor Supply. They want 75 gallon buckets. If anything, that kind of sucks for me. Like I said, I like putting it in 5 gallon buckets, but it's fine, it's whatever. Um, Another thing is, probably should straighten this up more. It's not as straight as this one, container wise, just because this side of the soil or whatever is lopsided, kind of. So that sucks. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully, I see you in the next video. Peace.